What's up, members of the Storm? And today we are going to be live reacting to the Ghost Rider versus Spawn by Death Battle. Now, if you follow my content for a while or know me, you know how this death battle should turn out. Ghost Rider should win, but we all know how death battle can be. I'm looking at you, Kratos versus Osra death battle. But yeah, so let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes.
Ghost Rider versus Spawn.
The Spirit of Vengeance versus the Dark Angel of Armageddon.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Should be Ghost Rider.
Johnny Blaze has always been a man possessed, chasing the thrill of certain doom by performing death-defying stunts, following the example of his adoptive father, Crash Simpson.
Until the day Crash lived up to his name and got cancer. Heartbroken and without enough Wampa fruit to save him, Johnny turned to the only thing that could. Chemotherapy.
The devil.
Oh!
To cure Crash's cancer, Johnny sold his soul to
Low-key don't make any
Mephisto,
sense.
king of the 8th layer of hell.
Only for Crash to actually live up to his name right after.
But instead of scooping up Johnny's soul, Mephisto had something else in mind. He bound Johnny to an instrument of divine wrath, Zarathos, the Spirit of Vengeance.
So Johnny Blaze lived up to his name and burst into Hellfire, an undead skeleton biker with a sick-ass hog, the 5th scariest Nick Cage performance, the stuntman from hell. He called himself the Daredevil.
Sorry, Johnny, that name's taken.
Okay, then how about the Ghost Rider?
Sure, we definitely didn't forget that we named a character the same thing only 5 years earlier. All you.
The Ghost Rider was bad news for Earth's sinners and scumbags. He's strong enough to pull down skyscrapers, blow up mountains, and cause earthquakes that can be felt across whole countries.
Don't even think about fighting back. He can remake his whole body from the hellfire that engulfs him, making him immune to all physical damage. Only holy weapons that target his soul can harm him.
It's not
Barely.
his body,
Just
his whole
barely.
arse-
Holy weapons can hurt him, but it's like a pinch. You can't actually kill a Ghost Rider. You can't kill the Spirit of Vengeance. Only God can destroy a Ghost Rider. No one else. You can destroy the body, but you can't destroy the actual Spirit of Vengeance. It's said that in them. Okay, let's continue.
Arsenal is Hellfire. Ghosty can create anything he can think of, from an infinite stream of chains, a shotgun packed with fiery rounds, or a flaming missile barbed right out of his mouth. Life goals.
And he can imbue other objects with hellfire, such as his Hell Cycle.
Oh, this badass bike can outpace Thor's hammer Mjolnir, which can cross the universe in seconds.
Hellfire is a weapon in and of itself, whether shot out of his hands, raining down from the sky, or released from his...
His boner, Wiz. Get it? And it doesn't just scorch flesh. Hellfire is so deadly, it can burn away your very soul.
This technique would be mastered by Johnny's successor, his own brother, Danny Ketch.
Oh yeah, Johnny's not the only Ghost Rider, and Danny was the first to master their most famous move. You know, the one that burns your soul to smithereens with just a look, the Penance Stare.
The Penance Stare inflicts upon its victims every ounce of pain they ever wreaked upon others. Every cruelty, no matter how small or righteous, is reflected back. A biblical punishment.
Obliterating your soul. It even works on other Ghost Riders, like when Johnny and Danny got into a staring contest and Danny actually depowered Johnny.
Eyes are windows to the soul, so the Ghost Rider must be able to match his victim's gaze for the Penance Stare to work. Some people have survived it, like the Punisher supposedly because he didn't regret his actions, but it did work on him on other occasions.
Well, Johnny can adjust how deadly it is, and it doesn't necessarily have to kill you. He can use the stare to read minds, force you to confess info, or just show you the error of your ways.
Remember, the Ghost Rider is two souls in one body, with the kinder Johnny battling the demon Zarathos in a war of control.
Ah, classic Faustian bargain. All the power in the world, but if you want it, it uses you. Because if Johnny gives...
So far, David the Goliath, the episode is there's some stuff where it's like that's like the whole holy weapons can harm him. Like I said, it'll hurt, but it won't. It's not actually completely effective because he can shrug it off.
In, the demon's full might will take over, and then everything is screwed.
Zarathos' strength is boundless. He can open up portals between dimensions, control the elements, pen and stare an entire city, and fly all the way to Asgard, which is a literal infinite distance away.
He's manhandled some of Marvel's heaviest hitters, like Thor, World War Hulk, and Doctor Strange. Hell, Strange said Zarathos is a threat to all realms, mortal and immortal.
Hyperbole? Think again. The Archangel Zadkiel said that the power of the Ghost Rider could threaten all of existence, and even bring down heaven itself.
Right before an army of Ghost Riders did just that. Yeah, an army. The spirits of vengeance are legion.
As far back as the Great Flood, humans have been bonded to the vestiges of God's power to act as his divine wrath on Earth. A sort of heavenly black ops.
Okay, wait, does that make Zarathos an angel now? Or is he still a demon?
Both? Neither? Despite being one of the greatest entities in existence, it's unclear. What we do know is that ages ago, Zarathos feasted on souls and battled Mephisto for rulership of his realm. Mephisto, ever the trickster, claimed victory and gained control of Zarathos forevermore. Hence how he could bond him to Johnny.
David the Goliath asks, "Who?" Time to answer the true question: Who has better drip? Spawn. Spawn. No. I'll show you what I mean. When it comes to the spirits of vengeance, when it comes to the Hellspawn, they overall have better drip. That's all I feel like. In my opinion, they have better drip. Because when it comes to a Ghost Rider, there is a kind of like the run-of-the-mill stuff that you would expect them to have. Like, oh, all of them have flaming skulls. Flaming skulls, spikes and chains or whatever, and they kind of all eventually run together. Meanwhile, when it comes to Hellspawn, I feel like it differs up, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I feel like Hellspawn had better drip. Back to the episode.
But Zarathos got his revenge against that big red bitch with another Ghost Rider, Alejandra Jones. Bet you wish you had one more day to fix that hole in your chest, huh?
Comic book fan punching bag though he may be, Mephisto is unbelievably powerful. A battle with him could cause omniversal Armageddon. Fitting as his fight with Galactus rents the cosmos asunder.
And Galactus' fights can destroy all of Marvel's infinite multiverse. That's the kind of awesome power at Zarathos' disposal. Total cosmic annihilation.
So it was no surprise when Johnny went down to the underworld and took Hell's throne for himself, usurping the devil that ruined his life and finally grabbing destiny by the handlebars.
Scoring the total power of hell itself, plus a sick-ass upgrade, the Damnation Stare, which skips the whole every pain you've ever inflicted thing and just sends you straight to hell. No shot.
As they say though, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Johnny began an obsessive crusade to capture all of Hell's escaped demons. But by using his new power to damn them to hell, he began absorbing their evil, feeding off of it, and it corrupted him. Once again, Johnny Blaze was a man possessed.
In truth, Johnny was just as trapped by Hell's power as he'd always been, and he needed Danny's help to pull him out of the darkness.
Though he gave up Hell's throne.
That is true. I actually picked that comic book up and read it beginning to end at least twice. That was true.
The Ghost Rider continues his war against demons without and within, mentoring his fellow Ghost Riders in the ways of vengeance, always prowling the highways for the evil and the profane.
An unstoppable engine of judgment that, with just a glance, could make Galactus himself shit his pants.
Maybe one day he'll find salvation in the eyes of one of his victims.
'Cause they sure as hell won't find any in his.
Now, time for the bullcrap part. I just know they're gonna pull feats from the times he was the king of hell use Legion Spawn, Divine Spawn, and fuse it all together.
This battle is sponsored by Robin Hood Gold. If Al Simmons was one thing, he was a killer.
A lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army and the CIA's most decorated assassin, Simmons upheld democracy around the globe at the barrel of a gun, painting the third world.
Hankins asks, wait, which Ghost Rider are they using? Johnny Blaze. They're using Johnny Blaze. While I feel like that is a fair way to do it, because technically, really and truly speaking, the whole boundless power and what Ghost Riders can do, they can all do the same thing. It's just more of a personality trait kind of thing. Like, for example, there's one Ghost Rider, instead of using a pin and stare, he could do the same thing as the spin and stare, but do it with his fist. Like, when he punches you, the same effect that the pin and stare has, that punch will have, kind of thing. So, like, really and truly, everything that Danny, Robbie, Alejandra, and Johnny have done in their own times, really and truly, all of them can do the same thing as long as they've seen someone do it, or just know they could do it, or just practice for it. They all Ghost Riders have the same powers. It's just how they choose to use it.
In red, white, and blue, but mostly red.
Until his final fateful mission when, per his boss's orders, Al was fired.
The burning was only getting started because Al's immortal soul was on a one-way trip to hell,
where he cut a deal with Malvosia, the big, naked lord of the 8th Circle of Hell.
By their pact, Simmons would be reborn a Hellspawn, a superpowered commander of Hell's armies, in exchange for seeing his wife one more time.
Oh, buddy, you're just asking to get monkey's blood.
Al Simmons returned from the dead as a decaying zombie 5 years later, after his wife had already remarried and had a daughter.
There, you saw her. Now get back to work, bitch.
Thus was born the undead warrior from hell itself, Spawn.
He's so 90s that he comes all the way back around to being the coolest thing ever. Look upon his edge, wizard, and despair.
Spawn would violently defend New York's downtrodden, while slowly uncovering the full breadth of his demonic power.
Okay, so it says right here, former King of Hell. So they better not use any of his feats when he was the King of Hell and say, oh yeah, he could still do that. I have a feeling they are.
He's like a walking...
Chrome Coder asks, is there a power difference between Robbie Reyes and Johnny Blaze? No, there is never a power difference between Ghost Riders. There's more of a skill difference. It's more of a skill issue. You see, like I said before, all Ghost Riders can do the same thing. They all have boundless, infinite power that is limited only by their imagination, kind of thing. So each one of them, you've seen them possess a vehicle. You've seen them reforge an item you see them possess an object and turn it into some kind of weapon. We see even like offshoots of Spirits of Vengeance possess things and all that. Like there's one time Banshee from the X-Men was possessed by a former Spirit of Vengeance, and he used his possession abilities to turn Juggernaut into like a vehicle. He didn't like a fleshy thing, but more like he just rode on his back with chains and stuff like that. Oh, Chrome Coder versatility. In terms of versatility, I have to go with maybe Robbie, because when it comes to like Johnny Blaze, because like it's like the whole Ghost Rider power system is a lot like the Soulmeister power system. You're only gonna fight as good as you work together. So yeah, like I said, so basically with him basically going back and forth with the collaboration on Zarathos, their versatility goes up and down. So when it comes down to it, Johnny Blaze is really just a bit of a blunt instrument, with only like one-off times of us seeing how versatile he is. Like he'll just throw a fireball, blow you up, throw a fireball, blow you up, and then for the next moment we'll see him create a hellfire storm and rain down hellfire and all that. But with Robbie, he's consistently showed it more, especially with his possession abilities, like possessing a celestial and using its residual cosmic abilities to amp his own. Him possessing a dead planet, possessing the corpse of a dead planet and reanimating it as a giant planet bomb and stuff like that, possessing entire helicarriers and stuff like that. So I feel like Robbie's got Johnny beat in terms of versatility. "24W, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. You said the worst. Oh wait, no, Mario versus Sonic. Oh, I thought you said. I'm sorry, my brain saw Mario versus Sonic and thought you said, what's his name, Bowser versus Eggman. My bad. I didn't see Mario versus Sonic. I didn't see that one. I may not, because depending on how, because you said it was bad. David the Glad, yes. Todd McFarlane definitely is the GOAT. Spawn isn't a bad character. He is not a bad character, and his depth is pretty, and he's really interesting. It's just in terms of powers, Todd McFarlane has specifically designed him not to be OP. I remember there's a quote. It was along the lines of saying something like he wanted a character as powerful as Superman, but fought like Batman. A character whose power could split the sea, but at a cost, kind of thing. Yes, Chrome Coder. As of right now, Robbie is now called the All Rider. He is still the multiversal spirit of vengeance. It's just Marvel being Marvel and how they handle minorities. And it's just, oh, look, we gave him this really important thing now. And it's like, do you know the ramifications of what you just said? Are you going to expand upon it? And they're just like, like Monica Rambeau. Monica Rambeau has the power to wipe out existence. And it's like, so she's just sitting on Earth with the power to wipe out existence, and she's not going to handle existence level threats now? What kind of thing? You know what I mean? But yes, he is the All-Rider. Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Superpower Encyclopedia. He can fly, teleport, turn invisible.
Wait.
While slowly uncovering the full breadth of his demonic powers.
He's like a walking superpower encyclopedia.
Barely.
He can fly, teleport, turn invisible and intangible, move things with his mind, make force fields, control the elements and the weather, and even stop time. Speaking of time,
controlling the elements was a specific power he had during a specific arc. He doesn't have general elemental manipulation.
He can fly so fast, he literally breaks into other dimensions and smashes time as a concept.
He can manipulate matter, shape-shifting his own body.
That was when he was King Spawn. That wasn't a general shape-shifting feat. That was King Spawn.
Or transmuting other objects and people. He can even control and absorb your soul.
Wait, Wiz, if he can rearrange molecules and crap, why doesn't he just fix his uggo face?
Well, he tried to do that, but Malbolgia cursed him so that he could only make himself... yeah.
Oh, it's petty trolling like that gets...
I'll take your word, D24W. Is it D Kai 24W? Is that how I pronounce it? I don't want to mispronounce it.
You were thrown in hell.
To be fair, Spawn can achieve a similar result with illusions and mental manipulation. He can read and control minds, implant and replace memories, or simply drive you mad.
Spawn can do all of this crazy shit because he runs on necroplasm. Basically, hell juice.
You're not wrong. Necroplasm is the energy that makes up hell itself. Al's undead body is composed of 400 pounds of it.
He can wield it like an energy blaster empowered by the sins of others. Spawn can absorb your evil and feed off of it. By simply walking on Earth, Spawn feels all of humanity's pain all at once.
He's even absorbed the sins of 8 million New Yorkers instantly, cleansing them of their evil.
Like Jesus?
Or he can do the reverse and make you experience the full weight of your own sins, feeling every bit of pain you've ever inflicted on others over your whole life.
Like some sort of penance.
Though Spawn's necroplasm comes with a catch.
Yeah, he's got a limited amount of the stuff, and it drains every time he uses his powers. If he runs out, he's dragged back to hell.
Even depowered, Spawn can rely on his elite military training in hand-to-hand combat. He's even fought Batman to a standstill.
And as befits his past profession, he loves his big-ass 90s guns.
Though his greatest weapon is the sentient being he's genetically and spiritually bonded to, his cloak. Letha of the 7th House of K.
You ever wonder why his cape's
Okay, DK 24. That is DK or DK 24.
red? Nope, well, now you are, and it's red because it's made from the apple Eve ate in the Garden of Eden. It's literally made of original sin. Oh, and also the souls of a million sinners, including every one of Hell's victims, also a touch of vampire for good measure.
K7 Letha is constantly evolving. It can act independently to defend Spawn with an infinite stream of chains, transform into weapons, or drain people of their power. It is the most potent weapon Hell has ever created.
It even helped Spawn beat the primordial dark god Urizen, who can destroy and eat your soul with just a glare.
Except the souls bonded to Spawn acted as a buffer, allowing him to survive.
You'd think with an arsenal like that, he'd be unstoppable. But Hell Spawns have a weakness to holy weapons and can be killed permanently if decapitated by one.
Though Spawn has managed to survive this in the past. No, Spawn's greatest weakness is his own... how do I put this? Stupidity.
So Spawn fought this angel lady, Angela. Great name for an angel. She had this dimensional lance that could wipe Hellspawn out of existence, and Spawn got it. But instead of, being cautious around a mysterious angel weapon that hurts him, he just had to push the big shiny button and activate it on himself.
And so, Spawn was forever destroyed, until he reconfigured reality to undo his own inexistence.
There we are, good as new. That has to be the first time we've seen someone accidentally kill themselves and survive.
On his quest as Hell's greatest warrior, Spawn has defeated a serial killer ice cream man, a demonic clown, and even his old boss remade by Heaven into an anti-Spawn. He's even encountered other Hellspawn.
Killing bad guys might seem counterintuitive if you work for a Hell Lord, but it actually just adds more souls to Balbosia's army. An army Spawn would have to lead in a war with Heaven that'd kill all of humanity.
Because the reason Malbolgia chose Al to be his commander wasn't that he was some great warrior. It was because Al had proven that he was the best at taking orders.
All his life and all his death, Al was nothing more than a hired gun.
But he knew it, and he would do so no more.
So Spawn marched down to Hell and ripped Malbosia's head off. With a scream so loud it echoed through all of reality, Spawn became...
That's true. Not true. He did not do that. What happened was him and Angela fought Malbosia. Spawn was getting his butt kicked. She jumped in the way of the killing blow. In a fit of rage, he took advantage of the situation, got her sword, and decapitated Malbosia. That's what happened.
The king of the 8th circle of Hell.
As king, Spawn is literally a part of Hell itself, gaining access to an unlimited pool of energy that increases 100-fold with every heartbeat. He's effectively omnipotent in there, and strong enough to challenge other Hell Lords like Mammon and Satan.
He got so strong, the only thing
What's up, King Jr.? How you?
left was to finally resolve the war between Heaven and Hell.
But Spawn needed help from the being who created this god and Satan to begin with, the mother of existence, Gaia.
She wasn't cool with her kids being total assholes, so she appointed Spawn to be the universe's savior.
By eating the fruit from the tree of life, Spawn became truly divine, capable of battling God and Satan in a stalemate for eternity that extinguished all life on Earth.
And each of them are powerful enough to create and control infinitely sized universes.
Spawn broke the stalemate by letting God and Satan destroy him, only for Gaia to separate the two from the reality they threatened.
Then, just like that time with the Lance, Spawn respawned and recreated the Earth.
What's up, Zanif? How you?
Whew, good as new.
Finally freed of the weight of heaven and hell, Al asked to be reborn as a human. But he knew in his heart he deserved to carry on his undead penance in perpetuity.
He's a creature of the 90s, Wiz. He won't be happy unless he can instantly brood over the injustice of his own existence.
Though if you threaten the alley he calls home, beware, because Spawn will turn whatever's left of your life into a living hell.
What Marvel versus DC matchup would you see? Would I like to see? Would you like to see? Death Battle cover. Ask David the Goliath. I want one that will actually be a challenge, like one that's actually going to be interesting. So I'll have to say that's actually kind of tough. I ain't gonna lie. It's all the character matchups I'm thinking about. I know who would win because like Hyperion versus Superman, Superman wins because Hyperion doesn't have enough feats to prove that he could go toe to toe with Superman. Black Panther versus Batman, again, easy win. Black Panther wipes the floor with him. Death Battle already did Hawkeye versus Green Arrow. Trigon doesn't have nearly enough on-screen like feats. Maybe Trigon versus Mephisto. Maybe that. I think Mephisto has more feats than Trigon. And who knows? And I think they already did Doctor Strange versus Doctor Fate. I'm not sure. I don't know if that one was ever done right. Hmm. I haven't read enough DC. I've watched a bunch of videos from Variant Comics and Comics Explained. So this is gonna be a little tough. Zaneve said, "I got what I wanted already." Static Watch Miles. Yes, yes, he did. MMA Crease King Jr. asks, "Do you already know the results?" It should be Ghost Rider. It should be Ghost Rider, but they're probably gonna bullcrap it into Spawn's win because that's what Death Battle typically does. They had Poe win against Iron Fist, so there's that. I still can't believe they did that. I'm still seething about that. Cyclops versus Greenland, bro. Why would you? Why would you do that to Cyclops, man? Why would you do that to Cyclops? Superman versus Sentry. Sentry can manipulate matter and he can manipulate energy. That is more than enough. I mean, while Superman has resistances to matter manipulation, he can get his solar energy robbed. And the Sentry can just drain it out of him just like that. That's actually one of the main reasons why nowadays Thor versus Superman, Thor has more feats to like back it up because he can steal the energy within Superman. Yeah. I'm still trying to think about a DC versus Marvel whole thing of Death Battle. I would like to see Death Battle cover because I feel like Brainiac versus Ultron. Brainiac versus Ultron. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Nah, because Vader and Obito was some BS, says Kermit. I didn't watch that Death Battle yet. But yeah, I don't think Vader would win that. DKai24 says for him, he would want to see Noah versus Green Lantern. That actually may be a really good matchup, especially like when it comes to like Hal. Well, wait, I think he got an upgrade recently that made him like busted, like really busted. I need to do some more research into that, but that would be a really interesting death battle. Hankins says, is it Hankins? Am I pronouncing that right? I know the first name is Javier, I believe. Batman versus Daredevil or Batman versus Spider-Man. Batman versus Spider-Man. It's going to be Spider-Man. It should be Spider-Man because Batman, while he is a really good martial artist, he can be overwhelmed with sheer brute force, and Spider-Man isn't just a brawler. He's actually really accomplished, like martial art, like combat prowess wise. He's too fast for Batman to keep up to. Well, Batman versus Daredevil. That may be. I feel like Daredevil would win with high difficulty because with his superhuman senses and accuracy with his ricochet and stuff, it will definitely keep Batman on his toes. Zenny says Vixen versus White Tiger. Ooh. Wait. We need to give Vixen a tougher battle because she could probably win against White Tiger because Vixen is connected to the Red just like Animal Man, and the Red is connected to all sentient life in the multiverse, and they've shown feats because like they combine New Earth and Prime Earth canon in a way, and Vixen has shown the ability to take other people's powers, like she could even take Green Lantern's powers. Don't ask me how because his powers aren't genetic, but she was able to do so. So yeah. So I feel like we need to find someone who could tap into different things too, like someone akin to Vixen. Hail the Lord says, hail. Javier Hankins. Okay, so thank you for the clarification. Hail the Lord says, I stopped watching Death Battle years ago. Is this that Spawn v Ghost Rider one I've been hearing about? Yes, it is. MMA Crease King Jr. says, I got Batman over Daredevil. Yeah, I feel like there's a debate for either one. Yeah. Javier Hankins says, Wonder Woman versus She-Hulk. Wonder Woman's way faster than She-Hulk. She's way faster than She-Hulk, and she's got access to divine weaponry. Spectre versus the Living Tribunal. You know what's actually kind of funny? I was thinking about the Spectre and the Living Tribunal. I find it so funny how like, oh, they're these super powerful beings, but they're kind of like used as like, hey, you know you're powerful if you can defeat them. They're kind of like the punching bag ish if you think of it. DCAT24 asks, this is a stupid question, but would Batman survive Five Nights at Freddy's? Would Batman survive Five Nights at Freddy's? I think he could. He would. It would take some time for him to understand how they work, but with his detective skills, yeah, I think he could survive. I think he could survive Five Nights at Freddy's. MMA Crease King Jr. says, Darkseid versus Apocalypse. Now, that would be an interesting death battle. That'd be interesting because while some people may say, like, because when it comes to Darkseid, I know people have often said, like, how he's a pan-dimensional entity. Technically, he is kind of a pan-dimensional entity and all that, but, like, there are weaker people than him that has actually defeated him. You know what I mean? And I feel like Apocalypse may out-hacks him because we have to remember, Apocalypse has the power to grant himself any power he wants. He can manipulate various forms of energy, including exotic forms of energy, and he can manipulate. And he even has access to magic. He has a whole grimoire worth of magic, and he casts it like a freaking obedience spell on Vulcan. So really and truly, we don't know what kind of magic he has either. So in theory, I think Apocalypse should be able to take him. Oh, and Apocalypse ain't no slacker at fighting. He's actually really good at fighting. David the Goliath says Norman Osborn versus Lex Luthor. That would probably be a good fight. Yeah, I agree with that. So let's just rip the Band-Aid off and see the fight.
This battle is sponsored by
Michigan 2020. All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for one hell of a death battle!
Nights like these drive men insane. Brimstone in the air. Something's coming. If it wants a piece of me, there'll be hell to pay.
Go back to the pit you squirmed from, Hellspawn.
Make me
If you care, it's nothing personal. Vengeance calls.
sloppy. You fight like a bum.
You've earned your damnation.
They better not do what I think they're about to do. They better not do it. He's not the king of hell anymore. He wouldn't have infinite necroplasm when he goes to... Yes, Arcane Humanoid Typhoon. This is a death battle L. Oh my god. No, but you know what? Okay, let's give him that. Let's give him he still has the crown to hell. He don't, but let's give him that crown. He still loses because Ghost Riders have defeated Mephisto in his home realm where Mephisto is omnipotent. So that does not matter.
Welcome to hell. I'll be damned. Yes, you will. Get over here!
I said this in a comment section already. They were gonna stack all of his forms to give him to attempt to give him a head up, a boost up. But this is the thing. It doesn't matter how much you stack all of Spawn's forms. It still shouldn't be enough because it's Ghost Rider. David the Glizes. I mean, you gotta entertain the people. I mean, yeah, you can entertain the people, but do a death battle that actually makes sense. Like Spawn versus Venom. Spawn versus current Venom would have been a much more entertaining death battle because it wouldn't have been a definite win. You know what? I'll save my thoughts for after the death battle.
The vestments of the holy cannot disguise your wickedness. God forbid. tremble. I am here to wreak vengeance upon your soul. I eat sin for breakfast. Have a taste of your own goddamn medicine.
He lied. He's the Prince of Lies. Wait, I'm an innocent.
It's like you said, nothing personal, asshole.
God damn!
Literally. This was a nail-biter of a battle that pitted Ghost Rider's immeasurable power against Spawn's skill and versatility. Let's break this down into 4 categories.
First up,
Ghost Rider outclasses in every single one.
power. Divine Spawn could match God and Satan, who could create universes. Similar in scale to Ghost Rider's bouts with a lot of the powerhouses in Marvel.
But Zarathos was different. Remember, his power can match that of Mephisto and Galactus, who can threaten all of Marvel's infinite cosmic reality, far greater than any cosmos Spawn has ever affected. Even though Spawn's battled and defeated Satan in more recent comics, implying he's retained a level of power similar to his divine form,
No, he gave up those powers.
couldn't match Zarathos in power alone.
Ghost Rider may take power, but remember, Johnny actively resists Zarathos' influence, so Spawn may have had time in the fight to learn and adapt to Ghost Rider before he went full Blue Fury.
And Spawn definitely had the edge in skill. He spent decades in military combat and is a master martial artist, whereas Johnny more so relies on his invincibility.
The ultimate dream power for a stunt. Man, even with his crazy powers, Ghost Rider was
Okay, even with that, it's like, oh, separating the Spirit of Vengeance can still kill him. Okay, first, it's like fine, okay, whatever. Who said Spawn can remove a Spirit of Vengeance?
a lot more direct than Spawn, pretty much entirely focused on attacking the soul.
Which doesn't bode well for his versatility. Spawn can stop time, manipulate matter, turn intangible, control minds, warp reality. The Ghost Rider had a much more limited arsenal by comparison.
Al can do all those things, but at a cost, and depending on what he's trying to do, is proportional to how many units he'll spend. It's like, oh yeah, he can freeze time, but how much will that cost him? Again, Todd McFarlane made him that way. It's like, Ghost Rider's versatility didn't match up. Have you seen Robbie Reyes and what he can do? There ain't nothing a Ghost Rider can possess. He could possess he could possess K7 Letha and wield it. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. I'll read the comments after this battle.
Spawn had a huge advantage in this category.
Though with his invincibility, way greater power, and the ability to scorch your soul to nothing, Ghost Rider could score the win through brute force, right?
Not exactly. The last piece of the puzzle is their resistances. Basically, who was harder to kill. Spawn's constant...
Who's harder to kill? Ghost Rider's harder to kill. You can kill a Hellspawn 5 different ways. Decapitate, just cut his head off. Boom. Stab it. Hellspawns are actually cousins of vampires, so stake them in the heart. You'll have them slide down the wall, barely able to stand. And light. Light hurts him too. It may not kill him, but it hurts. They didn't read a single recent Spawn comic book.
Mainlining of humanity's collective sin and pain meant he could survive attacks on his soul, including the Penance Stare, just like he resisted a very similar attack from Urizen.
Best of all, remember the time he rewrote reality to undo his own inexistence?
There was nothing the Ghost Rider could do to overpower that. And that time with the lance wasn't planned, it was purely instinctual. He could replicate it any time he wanted, like in his fight with God and Satan.
So how do you put Spawn down for good? Well, you can't. At least
Yes, you can.
Zarathos couldn't.
Unlike how Ghost Rider Soul
Robbie Reyes penance stared at the Starbrand, which is a being whose power adapts to yours to be stronger than you, and he's also virtually immortal. Robbie Reyes accidentally bypassed immortality and killed the Starbrand. Spawn shouldn't have.
Soul has been vulnerable to attack before, like when Danny used the penance stare to depower Johnny.
This sort of thing actually happens a lot, even in recent comics. The whole reason Johnny and
Oh, you want to reuse recent comics for.
Zarathos are bonded in the first place is because Zarathos' soul was manipulated by Mephisto.
And not only does Spawn have plenty of experience manipulating souls, he can replicate the effect of the penance stare itself.
And just think about that. A penance stare on Zarathos would mean he's feeling the pain from every penance stare that he's ever done. A penance squared.
The damnation stare, on the other hand, actively helped Spawn, sending him to hell where he gets a literal infinite power boost.
And
No, he doesn't. Because.
it wasn't just. Spawn's soul powers that had spelled trouble, he had other ways to bypass Ghost Rider's immortality too, like transmutation, rewriting reality, or just straight up stealing his powers, which has worked on multiple Ghost Riders in the past.
Giving Spawn the final edge. Zarathos was almost unbeatable, a massive power advantage, soul destruction, immortality, but Spawn could counter everything thrown at him. And
No,
was
he can't.
too unkillable for Zarathos' strength advantage to matter in the long run against his crazier abilities.
That was one hell of a fight, and at least Johnny went out in a blaze of glory.
The winner is Spawn.
Next time on Death Battle.
On to the comments. So Hail the Lord says, even with all their powers stacked in a fight, Spawn has way more battle IQ and a lot more experience with hell and heaven. It's not always about power, but how you use it and your all around battle IQ. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying, Hail the Lord, but the thing is, Spawn can be killed by Iron Fist could kill Spawn. Who else? Deathstroke could kill Spawn. There are so many low tier characters who could kill Spawn because currently, so first off, he's not always that mega ultra powerful. First off, second off, like I said, even when he gets these boosts, it's for a short extent of time, and they don't apply to his current state of being right now. Even with his King Spawn abilities, like with shapeshifting into other beings and stuff like that, he doesn't have that anymore because he gave those powers up. So he could have more battle IQ, yeah, but what's that going to do against immortality bypassing and the eradication of your personal existence? You know what I mean? Arcane Humanoid Typhoon says, I'm pretty sure Ghost Rider got more powers. By a long shot. His powers, unlike Spawn's, aren't limited at all. Not like, to the amount of whatever they have in their body. No, it's just only limited is, okay, is the host willing to cooperate with another being in their body? Yes, okay, you're on an unbeatable force. David the Goliath says, look, I lost faith in Death Battle when they covered Omni-Man versus Bardock. Now I look at Death Battle as entertainment as they are not very good at their research. It is extremely hit or miss when it comes to their research. Like, one battle they did that was pretty accurate was Bowser versus Eggman. That was solid. Darkseid versus Thanos was solid for the time, and Galactus and Unicron was solid. Arcane Humanoid Typhoon says, no matter if you're a gamer, anime, manga, uh, or comic book fan, Death Battle will fumble badly. Yep, pretty much. I'm shocked people still watch Death Battle, says Hail the Lord. You see, that's the reason why, that's why they have 6.17 million subscribers. They're baiting us. And it's working, and it's going to always work. Because whenever people react, like me, and it's like, this is a mess, it's still giving them exposure. It's still redirecting them to their channel and stuff like that. So ultimately, they're doing this on purpose. They're doing this on purpose. Hail the Lord says, that's one of the things about Spawn, especially Gunslinger Spawn. They are easier to kill, but they always have something up their sleeves. That's true when they're dealing with people within their weight class. Like you put Gunslinger Spawn up against Sentry, he ain't pulling that up. Maybe messing with his head or whatever. Not like using necroplasm. I mean, like literally playing on his mental illness. Yeah, he'll probably take the dub, but that's getting into his head. But like put Spawn against someone like, let's say Null, right? He'll lose, especially with Null's symbiotic ability to assimilate stuff. Because I remember during the King in Black event, Ghost Spider had her own form of a symbiote, but it wasn't like an alien symbiote. It was like these little bitty spiders that were crawling across her body and stuff like that. Once she got hit by a symbiote, Null is like, oh, this is unique here. It's mine now. So he could just get in. He could probably dip. He'll probably attack. Null could get attached to, say, what's her name? Case of Aletha, and just assimilate her into his hive. As a matter of fact, a previous experiment with the symbiotes, he created these things called the Xylon or something, and they're symbiote-like things, and the thing is they dealt with the soul as well. So soul domination, manipulation is something he's capable of achieving as well. Top DKai24W says top 5 worst death battles: Toph versus Gara, Wolverine versus Raiden, Omni-Man versus Bardock, Ben 10 versus Green Lantern, and Sonic versus Mario. I need to rewatch Wolverine versus Raiden again because I wasn't a comic book fan back then. It's like around that time. I need to rewatch that. Ben 10 versus Green Lantern was an absolute dog crap battle. Absolutely. Omni-Man versus Bardock, especially with if they gave him base Bardock, not all the other stuff like Super Saiyan and stuff like that, Omni-Man probably could have won off of the sheer fact is grab his throat, fly into space, he dead. Because Saiyans can't breathe in space. They can't even survive the vacuum in space. But with all the stuff they given him, it's like, okay, well now Bardock's gonna win, and he should win, not Omni-Man and all that. I need to catch up on what Shigaraki can do, because I know his decay ability is insane. He got like a one for all or something like that. One all for one. That's what to say. I need to do more research to see that. Arcane Humanoid Typhoon said Ben should have won that. Absolutely. Superman versus Goku was pretty bad. I do agree, especially in the sense of like the fact that they combined alternate versions of Goku into the main Goku just for him to have a fighting chance. It's like if you have to having to basically do a composite Goku, then it shouldn't be that be that kind of that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like they have to stack. Exactly. Like I agree with Superman winning, but it's like if you're having to stack an alternate version of a character in order to give him a fighting chance against another character, you don't need to be doing that death battle at all. That's just the way I view it. You know what I mean? Low key, listen, chat. We need to talk about this. Like low key, go the way Dragon Ball is written is like in terms of power system wise, it's baffling. Ichigo versus Naruto. Ichigo should have won that fight. I should rewatch that eventually. Yeah, I can't say that much on that. But yeah, like in terms of like the Dragon Ball power system, like I even on my own YouTube channel, like y'all can go and view in there. I remember what's his name already talked about how the whole Dragon Ball power system is kind of fumbled. Like when it like that's one of the main reasons why whenever I hear people say stuff like, oh well, comic books are inconsistent, comic books this, that, and the other. It's like look at the Dragon Ball key power system before you step to us at all. Y'all have it way worse, especially with the key. Like you're telling me like you know you guys know what I mean, right? The Dragon Ball power system, it isn't basic. The authors just forget how versatile they made it. It's like in the earliest days, we saw people shoot lightning bolts from ki, throw fireballs from ki, perform various forms of like elemental manipulations, and even stuff like Goku with Goten transform and use warp and reality and stuff, and even stuff people like he can manipulate time and stuff like that. It's like all the stuff that they can do, especially with what's his name, Krillin's destructive disc, which has like a version of has like a level of durability bypassing and stuff like that. It's like they really and truly they have hacks galore and stuff like that. But it's just they forget that and just say, okay, energy blast and scream and punch hard. Meanwhile, say like in comparison to like Marvel's chi power system. Marvel's chi power system is what Dragon Ball's chi power system could be. And there's another reason why I'll always say a double-edged sword that comic books does have, like is a blessing and a curse, is the fact that multiple people can write on a title and bring their own ideas into it. Because if Dragon Ball was like say a Western property, right, and given to multiple people, there would be a fan out there saying who would have brought this to the forefront and been like, look at this thing right here. Goku could already display being able to do this. So let's expand upon that. You know what I mean? Like just like what they did with Storm. Storm's current power, the Eternal Storm form, that stuff is old. She did that all the way back when she was encased in metal by Doctor Doom, and then she broke out of it. That was Eternal Storm. That the writer confirmed that. You know what I mean? Yeah, Dragon Ball. Yeah, Dragon Ball. I mean, no, wait. Dragon Ball's again. It wasn't. I wouldn't say a gag manga. It was more of like a kid, like a kind of like a little bit of like a kid friendly story. It was meant to be funny, but also like be like cartoonishly adventurous and stuff like that. It's a Doctor Slump, the one with that little girl. I forgot her name. That's the one that was a gag comic character. Javier asks, who would you put against Sung Jin Woo during Sung Jin Woo from DC or Marvel? That's a real good question. From what I remember with Jinwoo's song, along with him having a bunch of he has dark magical abilities, he's a necromancer, he has like poison buffs and stuff like that with his weapons. He could do a bunch of stuff. Like one can manipulate weather and stuff like that. He has like a form of telekinesis and all. And I think he's like basically has got a variety of magical abilities. And if people aren't blowing stuff out of proportion in terms of like what he could do in the light novel, he's like basically conceptual levels of power. So with his hacks and stuff like that, I would say a fair fight between the two. Someone from Marvel who would it would be a fair like a fight that'd be like, who let's see how this plays out and it'd be really interesting would be Scarlet Witch, because she's a living cheat code. And I feel like if what people say about Jin Woo-sung is true, and for like from his like technical all his canon material, that would be a fair fight. That would be an interesting fight to see. As for DC, I need it. Like I said, I still need to work on like I need to read more DC characters and stuff like that, like more powerful DC characters and such. Because I don't think they have someone that has like hacks like him. The best Death Battle episode, in my opinion, was Bowser versus Eggman. That one actually gave me goosebumps as I was watching it, especially with Neo Sonic. Like when he got that emerald and then he transformed into Metal Sonic, turned into Neo Sonic. I was just like, man, it took me back to my Sonic Hero days. Arcane Humanoid Typhoon says, speaking about anime and manga versus DC and Marvel, I think Sinbad would be a good would be a good matchup one for would be a good matchup one of DC and Marvel. Sinbad from the Maggie series. If so, I don't know much about that series. I ditched that series when I was in elementary school. Yeah, I don't know much about him. Oh, I remember watching that one. I remember watching that one. Yeah, that was a cool one. Yeah. Oh, from the Maggie series. Yeah, I don't know much about Sinbad and then from the Maggie series. Yeah, I ditched him a long time. Like that whole thing. I ditched it a long time ago. Like when I was in middle school. Oh, wow, we got 9 viewers in the stream. I think I only usually average like 3 or 4. So glad I got so many people here. Yeah. What to do now? I don't know what to do now. I recall reason. Oh, what do you mean? I don't know what we should do, chat. Oh, World Trigger. I need to finish reading that manga actually. So who would you have from one of the comics? Basically, who would I pit against Jinwoo from DC or Marvel? Is that what you're asking, Javier? Arcane Humanoid Typhoon, he says, I think Might likes as it balanced sci-fi power system. Oh, hey fam, how are you? Yeah, we just got done reacting to the Spawn versus Ghost Rider Death Battle episode. It was a mess, I ain't gonna lie. Now, a comic you know or have talked about to fight Jinwoo or Marvel. Oh, so who is a comic book character I would pit against Jinwoo or Marvel? Okay. The disrespectful and downright devious route would be what's his name? I forgot. King Lion from Versus. No. I'm gonna actually show you this. Okay, so this is a website called the Melanin Verse from one of my favorite content creators, King Lion, right? So he has Flame, right? Flame is one thing. He said this himself. So this character right here, EJ, to the right, awesome character, right? So let me put it to you this way: EJ is Black Rimuru Tempest. He can consume infinite amounts of matter and energy, use it to enhance himself. He's virtually omnipotent. He can create daggers and guns out of his melanin. Basically, all of his powers come from his melanin. So we got Black Rimuru Tempest in the building. And he said, don't worry about him. Worry about this guy right here. And let me show you. Oh, hey, Monarch D. Nick. So we just got done reacting to the Spawn versus Ghost Rider Death Battle. And it was a load of malarkey, as I expected. Right? Oh yeah, she's definitely vain. Yeah. So look. Yeah. So let me go show you King. Let me show you King Lion's passives. This ain't even his powers. This is his passives, right? King Lion passively is immune to reality warping, hellfire, mind control, and soul manipulation. That's his base. That's his passives now, right? So let me break everything down for you. So in the world of Versus, basically, stories. Okay, I'm trying to find a way to simplify it. So in the world of Versus, basically there are. It's like It's not Pokemon. I'm trying to find a way to. Okay, so in the world of Versus, basically there's this guy called the God of Fiction. I can go back and show you him. This guy called the God of Fiction. If you've been watching King Lion for a long time, you know it's just basically him, right? At the end of basically, he created the God of Fiction created basically a bunch of different things, including stories. But the thing is, these stories were sentient, and depending on how people resonated with him, how they interpreted the stories or reacted to the stories could react negatively and turn into like monsters. So there are people called resonators. As you can see, resonators. As a matter of fact, I could just show you right here. Right here. So resonators, basically they're people who have the ability via melanin cells, like they resonate with a specific character and they're able to use their powers, summon them into the real world, etc. and all that. So basically kind of think of it kind of like a stand-ish. It's a really unique power system. I can't really match it to something specifically. Maybe Shaman King from what I heard. Oh yeah, basically it is. Basically it is like kind of like a whole plague, like the whole playground characters and stuff. But the way it is, it's done so cool. Like, man. But yeah, like his stuff, he has durability negation, teleportation, dimensional travel, energy absorption, cloning, and stuff like that. And that's just, and that we're not even talking about like his other forms and stuff like that. Like what happens when he like reaches certain levels of resonating. I think like to a certain point, King Lion can move so fast he becomes omnipresent. Stuff like that. This is the kind of character you're dealing with. He can move so fast, he's everywhere at once. Arcane Humanoid says, so can Yu-Gi-Oh! Fusion Fiction? I'm not sure I follow. Mark Unique said, have you heard about the Doom leak? What do you think? No, I haven't heard about the Doom leak. I heard that it was some I've heard little bits and pieces of it. Like I've heard that they're taking the Secret Wars, the 2015 Secret Wars route, which is honestly that's the most rational decision they can make because that's the only Secret Wars that makes sense to bring up. And I heard that they're going to bring in different variants. Humanoid Arcane Typhoon says, yeah. From what I've heard, it's essentially like Shaman King because I saw another. I saw another content creator named Millie. He said, "Oh, this reminds me of Shaman King kind of thing." Yeah. I can't wait for this book to be finally released because I'm definitely going to be reading it. I'm going to get it the day it drops, and you best believe I'm going to be. I'll cover it on this channel. You know what I mean? Especially with how many powerful black characters we're getting. Yeah. Oh yeah. Arcane Humanoid says new movies basing on Secret Wars Doomsday. Yeah. I heard about that part. Now, what specifically pertains to Doctor Doom himself, I'm not sure. I haven't heard. I don't ever hear that much about him, but I do remember that they're taking the what's his name, the Secret Wars route, 2015 Secret Wars route. Yeah. I don't know what to do now. I may call it a night, or who knows? Maybe I could. I'll think of some games. I hope Tony's a variant. I really do hope he is a variant, because if he isn't a variant, then we're gonna have some problems. Marvel Rivals. Okay. What time is it? 8:35. Who would I match up with the Beyonder Marvel of Death? I would match. I would do maybe. You know. You know what? I know exactly who they should do. What's her name? I think her name is wait. What's her name? I forgot her name. Dang it. Is it? I don't know if it's Cicada. I know she's a user under this. Yes, Monarch, we all want a Blade movie, but that's the thing. At the end of the day, we won't get it because they... Locust, that's her name. The reason why they won't do this is because Disney is a mega corporation. A mega corporation led by a bunch of racially biased people. That's the problem. They will give us, oh yeah, we'll give you, make sure to adapt Samuel to Captain America. Oh yeah, we'll give you Wakanda. But that's all we're gonna give you. Why would we give you anything else? And even Blade, it's like it's more complex to adapt Sam Wilson and the politics of that than to just make a Blade movie. So that's why they're doing it. Oh yeah, to answer what's his name, David the Goliath, I would put Locust up against the Beyonder, because she kind of reminds me of the Beyonder a bit. Like, not like, oh, she's a carbon copy thing. She's just the fact that she's a temperamental reality warper. I feel like what's his name? It's like she's kind of like an unhinged temperamental reality warper. I feel like that'll be an interesting little mashup, but it probably won't last long because she barely has any feats, maybe. Someone said, Javier says, they keep making comics political and trying to bash the Orange Man. The thing is, comic books, a decent share of comic books are already political. But the thing is, so it's not the fact that they're making comic books political, it's the fact that they aren't being nearly as tactful or doing it well enough. That's the problem. I mean, even in certain conditions of bashing it over our heads, depending on the context, we'll be fine with it. Because especially like back then in the '60s and stuff. I mean, I don't know the time actually, but like at a certain point in time, Captain America was going into World War II, punching Hitler in the face and stuff like that. Wait, I don't. Am I able to say that on stream? I don't know. Punching the bad man. Let's just say that, punching the Batman in the face. I was on the front cover. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. So it's like comic books have been political. It's just nowadays they aren't doing it nearly as tactful, and they're not being as diverse, because people forget about one video I saw said people forget about the diversity of thought. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if I remember correctly, Icon is conservative. You know what I mean? But the thing is, like, will we ever see that on the big screen, or is that even being brought up in his most recent comic books? Exactly, Javier. That's in that way where they, like I said, how blatant it is and all that. And I feel like even then, like for example, the Storm comic book is kind of handling it in a good way, like kind of in the original way that like in the original way it was supposed to be, like how the complexity. Like, for example, I remember there was a power plant going down in like the first issue. And the thing is, people were led to believe, oh, it was the U.S., it was that company experimenting with some alien tech, and that's what happened with the shockwaves. Oh, thank goodness for the mutants, they saved us. But it turns out they were experimenting on a mutant boy, which led to that whole thing. But she could have easily, it's like, you know what, listen, we've already got a bad rap. Let me just let the media run off and say it was the people, it was the U.S. government experimenting with aliens. But they didn't. She took accountability. It's like, you know what? No, I'm gonna have to stay forward, stand on business, and say, listen, a mutant was involved, but not the way you think. But listen, we, even in modern day politics, people will hear, if they hear one thing, they will shut their ears off of everything else. And that's why when it comes down to it, I don't really do politics in general. Like, it's a sticky situation. It doesn't make any sense. And at the end of the day, both sides, it's just both sides. It's just gonna have their issues. But yeah, back to comic books. Enough about politics. Spider-Man being adopted by the Fantastic Four would be awesome. Probably a lot of diversity was a problem with the problem. Diversity was a lot. Okay. Yes, they did have a cookout together, and that's one thing that I know certain people was like. As a black person, I can tell you, I'm pretty sure there are other black people who can understand this as well. Listen, when it comes to the community, we're not that tight knit. We'll buddy up depending on who you are and depending on whether we rock with the person. We'll buddy up, but it's just blindly having them together because black people together. It's like that's not the way it works. As much as it would be awesome for us to work that way, that's not how we work. That's not how we function. You know what I mean? He said, problem. A lot of diversity was a lot how every does it badly and alien people. Exactly. Ultimately, Arcane Humanoid Typhoon is basically saying the way they're handling diversity in comic books, it's not done in a tactful way. It's not done well, especially with Spider-Man. How they keep driving Peter through the mud unnecessarily. Meanwhile, they keep giving upgrades to Miles and stuff like that. Like, case some goddamn point. Where's Aranya? Where is that girl? She's the magical spider person. How come the metaphysical Spider Girl ain't dealing with Anansi before Miles? That you know what I mean? And they said, someone asked, the last Ronin video game. Oh, that's been canceled, Monarch. Yeah, that's been canceled for a long time, I think. Last time I checked them, I know there's a live action movie going forward, but I'm pretty sure the video game has been canceled for a long time now. David the Goliath asks, you have to choose 4 honorary members of the Fantastic Four. Who would it be? Spider-Man, of course. She-Hulk will be another one. Silver Surfer, and I can't think of another one. I need to read more. There's a lot of comic book stories I need to be reading because I can't think of another one when it comes to Fantastic Four. Oh yeah, David the Goliath asks. You may have answered this question already, but my phone was bugging out. Sorry, but who would you put the Beyonder in the death battle with? I would say Locust from Justice League 3000 because she's kind of a temperamental reality warper like him. But I don't know how long it would last because I don't know how many feet she has. So maybe, Mr. Mixia-Spitalik. That would probably be a better one. Yeah. Marvel. Monarch asked a really good question. He said, "Why good things get canceled? Perfect example: Spectacular Spider-Man. Show was simply goated." Executives. The problem is executives who don't understand the art of these comic books are being put in charge of this stuff. Absolutely, hail the Lord. A lot of people do talk about black characters, but only refer to specific ones instead of just what's his name? instead of reaching out and expanding the horizons, because that's an ongoing issue. Even the stuff I've said now is like a lot of the ongoing problem with the blur community is that they're focusing on popularity wise. Like for example, Tony. Oh, there's one guy named Tony. I remember I got flack for basically saying like, listen, people like him always say so like, oh, whenever characters are called woke, no. Or whenever a video game includes us, where it's called woke and this, that, and the other. It's like, no, that's not always true. Case in point. No. I'm gonna prove it to you. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk on IGN was posted 3 years ago. Let's go to the comment section and see how many people called this game woke. You see? Do we see anybody calling it woke? Because let's do it. See, black girl right there, black person right there. All of that was clearly for them to see, even in that short clip, because people will lose their mind over short clips. We've seen it, and not a single comment on this list called it woke. Okay, it has gotten overwhelmingly positive reviews. I'm trying to find the original announcement. Oh, cyber. Again, so let's go through here. You see, no one's calling it woke. No one's using that word at all. They're just vibing, just happy to see this game. And I'm like, boom, right there. That's one. It's like, oh shoot, I don't see this one. Anyways, so but stuff like that. Absolutely, Javier. We do need more Brother Voodoo comic books, but they are blackballing that guy. If you think about it, you can only find him if he's on a team or a side character. They will not give him a comic book. We got a comic book about Alligator Loki, and not Brother Voodoo, a Stan Lee creation. You know what I mean? Arcane Humanoid Typhoon. I thought this was. Oh no, there is a new Jet Set Radio coming out, but it looks too alien to me. It looks way too alien. It's 3D. I mean, it's not 3D in the sense of like this, but it's like they make it look too realistic. And someone said, David the Goliath, who do you think is more annoying to you, indie mangaka or Tony Weaver? Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't mind indie mangaka that much. I saw one thing, and like I know one time because like one of the first times someone kind of mentioned me, right? He basically what it was that he was talking about like he saw someone. He said I saw someone on Instagram. He did say those words, but it was like I saw someone on Instagram who was saying that the comic book power systems are better than anime power systems. You know what I mean? Manga power systems. I do appreciate the fact that he strongly disagreed. He strongly disagreed with that, and while his backup points weren't really good, I did appreciate him like not directly calling me out in my name, at the least. So it's like, okay, I appreciate that because I knew like he probably because I already was getting a lot of people in the comment section swarming me insults and this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, cool, I appreciate that. But Tony he actually spun the narrative and tried to make it seem like I was attacking him when I wasn't. Especially even people in the comments, it's like, oh, wait, why was he attacking Tony? Tony was trying to defend her, this, that, and the other. It's like, I was doing that in my video too. He just cut that part out. Even even then, like, it's like, oh, well, I go. Even then, we start like, oh, he doesn't really know who I am. It's like, I followed you for a long time. I followed him when I was in like high school or something, so around that time, and I used to agree with his points. This is the thing is, it's like, let me put it to you this way. Let me show you my favorite content creator, right? My favorite content creator of all time is the Black Mastodonchi. I watch a lot of his stuff, right? Ever since middle school, I think. Yeah, I think I've been following this guy ever since middle school. But the thing is, I found more representative stories from him, from the Black Mastodonchi, than Tony. And the Black Mastodonchi isn't the kind of person whose the focus of his content is the representation, the representation of this group, the representation of that group. No, it's just fun stories, fun games, fun times, yay. And guess what? I found more representative stories from him. I found Delta Dogs. I found Oblivion Rouge. I found, what's his name? Night at the Abyss. All stories you should go follow and support right now. Amazing. I found a bunch of representative stuff from the guy who while he does appreciate representation, thinks it's important, that's not the core focus of his content. So the guy who doesn't corely focus on representation has given me more representative stories than the guy whose core focus of his content is representation. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You know what I mean? And like I said, then he was twisting like, oh, I do charities. I go to BlurCon with my friends. It's like, buddy, okay, like, cool, whatever. Have you told kids to go buy from Saturday AM? Did you do that? Because that's what the Black Mastodonchi does. That's what King Lion does. Are you telling them instead of, well, you can make the next Naruto? Did you tell them Black Naruto exists? African Naruto exists? Did you do that? If the answer is no, okay, but sorry, buddy, you're part of the problem. And all that. And the video wasn't even about him. I was talking about the community and I used examples of his actions. But he just found a way to spin it and make it about him. Hence why, if y'all go into TikTok and y'all saw, what's his name, King Lion responding to Tony talking about core and stuff like that, if you say, listen, this isn't hate towards you, but if you find a way to make it turn twisted and say it's hate, then that's you. That's because me and King Lion talked and I addressed the whole situation to him. We called about that, man. He told me. I mean, I'll address the situation because he was asking questions like, listen, this is what I said and here's how he spun it. So if you kind of were like raising your eyebrows like, oh, huh? Why was saying if you take it as hate, then that's you? Because that's what he did with me. I said the Blur community acts this way, and Tony acted this in this way, which I don't approve of, and we need to improve. And he said, I'm going to spin it, and I'm going to make it about me, and make people not like this guy. Because that's what he was. Because my account at the time was rising really fast, at a really fast rate. I mean, it's moving. My Instagram account is moving pretty fast now, but it wasn't moving nearly as fast as it was back then. Like, I was, like, in a matter of, like, 2 weeks, I think maybe, I'm not the math. I'm not going to say them. I don't know the exact numbers, but I was moving at a pretty good pace. And that's the reason why I feel like Tony responded. Because the thing is, I responded to him in the past when I was a much smaller account, and he has replied to much smaller accounts. Like that one dude who was being dumb and was getting mad at, like, saying like, they're calling saying that Yasuke was woke and all that. I'm like, Yasuke isn't woke. Shut up. He's a small time. I went to his TikTok account. He's only got like 100 and something followers. But because what he said was stupid, he responded. You know what I mean? But yeah, anyways. So. Monarch Dinig asked, bro, what do you think of South Park, how South Park called out pandering? I need to watch South Park. I have seen bits and pieces of South Park, only clips and memes and stuff, but I haven't seen like that actual episode. You know what, Javier? You made a good. Also, just a thought. But if we create natural great characters that just happen to have the same, have a skin tone or nationality compared to shouting out to the world, it will be handled better. Freaking look! No, 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 no! I will show you. I will show you right now what you're saying is true. Let me show. Oh shoot! All right, that's great. I'm sorry. Anyways, I got distracted. Oh, who was I going to? Oh, Webtoon. I'm about to blow y'all's minds. I'm about to blow y'all's minds right here. Right? Now let me go to Ordeal. Because a lot of y'all probably know who I'm about to talk about already, right? So this is a Webtoon called Ordeal. Right? You can go onto Webtoon's platform. It's, what's his name? Let me go to like the, on the front cover you see a black looking guy. Okay? He on the front cover you see this, and guess what? It is the number 5 best action series on the entire platform. Ordeal has it on their official Webtoon, on their official Webtoon Instagram with 2.7 million followers, made a specific post for him, for Ordeal, on there, right? It's on there. It's like, and guess what? The selling point isn't, oh, look at me, I'm a Trinidadian of science fantasy, and if you don't like me, you're racist. No. It's a great series that just so happens to be based off of a West Indian culture. That's what it is. And at the end of the day, while some people may be thrown off by it, the fact is like, why can't I shout my race from the rooftops and people not get mad? It's like, because it's like, hey, that's just the world we live in. We need to take wins when we can. If that's going to be, okay, maybe not shout that you're black 24/7, because I'm not saying not to be proud of it. No, I am a proud black man myself, and I'll be proud. Like, look at this character who's doing great, and he's black. But when it comes to the story, like Ordeal, it isn't, oh, look at me, I'm Shay Hart, I'm a powerful black character. No, it's, look at me, I'm an interesting. It's not even like that. It's, I think y'all know what I mean, right? But stuff like that. It is currently number 5. It is on Instagram, which got 2.7 million followers. And I bet you anything, there's still going to be people saying, oh, but whenever we're here, it's just... And it's like, again, let's go to the comment section. Let's see how many people call this woke or racist. You see, so far... You see, no one calling it race. No one. Maybe they deleted the comments. I don't know, or whatever, right? But yeah, even what's his name? What's his name? Look at this. Look at this. King Spawn sales demolished the Avengers record. And it said that the recent launch of Tournament for Farley's new monthly comic book, King Spawn Issue 1, has shattered sales records again. With just under 500,000 pre-orders by comic store retailers. This marks the single largest superhero monthly launch title in the comic industry in the past 25 years, based on the standard sales formula from the comic book industry. Non-returnable, non-retail exclusive sales. Total pre-orders of 497,000 are bigger than any Marvel new monthly superhero launch, including Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, or Captain America. McFarlane's King Spawn issue 1 also topped any DC Comics new monthly title launched from the past 2.5 decades, including Batman, Superman, Flash, and Wonder Woman. A black man outsold the most popular characters in fiction. You know what I mean? So it's like, where's that? It's like, oh, whenever a black character is introduced, even it's like people are going to say, okay, well, you can still see his blackness in the King Spawn comic book. Let me show you. In the King Spawn comic book, we get to see Al Simmons more in his human form. So him being a black man is on more display than ever in the King Spawn series, and the sales did not waver. Anyways, that's enough about my rant. Back to the comments. Someone said, thoughts on Tony's book Weirdo? I did not buy it, and I'm not really interested in it. If you were to write any character from Marvel and DC, who would it be? I'm very glad. I'm so glad you asked me this question. There's actually several characters I'd want to write. So Victor here is an Afro-Latino legacy character who was taking on the Power Man role from Luke Cage. And he is a chi-powered hero, but the unique ability that he has with his chi abilities is the fact that he's empowered by, because like embedded in the environment, basically he can manipulate cultural energy. Like he can do like the same things relatively other chi users can do, but the thing is he's empowered by the chi from the environment. Like the richer the culture of an area is, the more power he can draw from. And he's based in NYC. So I would love to like experiment with like this character. I would love to write a play around with this guy. And I can't think of any Marvel characters off the top of my head. Any other Marvel characters I like to do off the top of my head. I want to see how they're doing with Kid Venom, so I wouldn't necessarily I want to write him or whatever and stuff like that, because I want to see how they do with him in general. Besides, really and truly, I would want to make my own Marvel characters if I could. Martin Dean says, bro, what we really need is to get Amazon to do a Spawn adaptation. Yes, we do. They need a lot. I really hope they do that, especially with the Invincible universe being in the Image Comics universe and they're being connected to so many other heroes. They have a gold mine when it comes to the Image Comics universe, and I hope they act upon it. Have you read Corey Kinch's Monsters We Make? No, I have not read Corey Kinch's Monsters We Make yet. While I will eventually, I do want to pick it up. I do want to read it because not only is it Corey Kinch, but the manga looks awesome as heck, especially with it being sci-fi and stuff. What's your least favorite comic book? Like that I own or that I bought, or just a comic character I don't care for in general? You know what? I think I wanna. Okay, okay. Least favorite. Oh, whoops. No. Least favorite comic book that I've read. That will be the Miles Morales comic book I picked up when I was in middle school. What's actually funny is I used to be a Miles Morales fanboy, and I was part of the whole and I used to believe in the whole propaganda that, oh, people don't like him just because he's black and stuff like that and all. Until I actually heard people out and saw that they actually had they gave good reasons, and then eventually I started not liking him. But even before I heard people out, I actually picked up one of his books, cracked it open, and wasn't really impressed. Oh, I forgot I had Knights of the Old Republic. I could turn that into a freaking streaming series. I'll probably do that. Put him up, as in like relationship wise, long term. Relationship wise and long term, I think the obvious answer. I feel like either Cindy Moon or Black Cat. I feel Cindy Moon would be the best choice because not only is she a spider totem, she will understand his life, and stuff like she will understand like what he's doing and stuff like that, the importance of it. So I feel like what's his name? She would be the better fit for a good fit for him. But I've seen too much chemistry with Felicia between him and Felicia, so I feel like the best choice would be like him and Felicia. I don't want to be a magical girl. Oh no, I didn't watch the pilot. I wanted to though. I do plan on watching the pilot to it, and I'm excited to because ultimately, it's what's his name? I love seeing magical like guys. Let's just admit it in the chat. We all like not all of us, but there are a fair share of us that like magical girls, like Winx. We like Winx. Come on, let's be honest. Come on, fess up, chat. I mean, even if there aren't people in the dudes in the chat now who will admit to it or has seen Winx, there are a fair share of guys who actually did enjoy Winx. I know I did. You know what I mean? I actually want to read Sailor Moon to see what that's about and stuff like that. But yeah, but to see a black magical girl is awesomer. I just need to move past the fact that the first time I heard about it was through Tony. That's the main thing. That's the kind of deterred me from seeing it. It's like, I wish I would have found this out before you did, kind of thing. But anyways, so yeah, I definitely do want to see it. Which Marvel and DC character would you want to have a single crossover issue? Batman Beyond and Spider-Man 2099. That is so long overdue. That is so long overdue, and that will be the answer to the day I die. Javier asks, who should Peter Parker, Spider-Man 616 get with female-wise? Cindy Moon or Black Cat? I feel like they can... I feel like with Black Cat ultimately still being kind of a thief, it would still cause issues in the long run. But the chemistry is really good from what I've seen. So I feel like they could find a way to like deal with it. Like maybe if she steals from the bad guys or something like that, they could make it work. I feel it. I think they can. Oh, the comic where she's farting. Yeah, I don't think that's a debate. I don't think nobody is actively trying to like fight that. There's actively trying to fight that. You know what I mean? Oh, speaking of comic books, I wanted to show you guys something, chat. So, for my comic book, no, my manga, whatever, my graphic novel. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that Monarch D, Nick. Let's not. We're just here to have some fun. Yeah. So my manga, I made a wiki for it on via fandom. It's called magicisciencefool.fandom.com. I actually should have changed the name to just Tempest Studios, but that's a whole other thing. So like if you guys do want to see some characters ish, or basically what I'm trying to set up, you can go through there and read about it and all that. But like once I get in more artwork, I will start making videos about it. So it's like if you just want to see like an example, here's like the protagonist, Xavier Momoa. His code name is Magnus, reference to Magneto and all that. And I each try to give him a quote, like each of them a little quote kind of thing. This is the world needed a hero, they got a monster instead kind of thing. It's a little thing I came up with when I was in middle school. Javier, yes, I do. I mean, it's still in development. I don't have a first chapter out. I'm still writing the script for it and all that, but it's coming along pretty good. It's just slowly, but still good. Index like. Yeah, it's like an index. Yeah. Oh, sure. You can join the. Thanks, Javier. You can join the Discord. It should be in the link in my YouTube. If it's not, I'll link it in right now. I have an artist right now, but with my stuff right now. But I do have like several other. I do have other stories. I do plan on. Oh shoot! I didn't edit that. But there is other stories I do plan on drawing. So maybe we can get together and do and what's his name? We could drop some concepts and stuff like that too. Oops. Alright, so it should be in my description now. But yeah. So I have like a little page up and stuff like that. I'm not like officially posting it on any of my social media yet, because I want to have like more art and like the base design of like and all like the base design of the main protagonist and stuff like that. Yeah. Which David the Goliath asks, which is better, Black Sands or the Rippaverse? I haven't read anything from the Rippaverse yet. I want to, especially with how like cool the characters look. Like they got one cool cat. He's a brother in a suit. I think he's gonna be like a detective like character. Like there's so many stuff. So Black Sands, it's not really a connected universe. It's more of a publishing company. I picked up Flame. I picked up Mask of the Orisha. I really loved those books. But like I've heard some controversies about the head of the company and the author of the Black Sands main book. It's like, I've heard some controversies about that, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy any of like his story specifically. But it's like I'm not gonna completely distance myself from him, because it's like there's worse people out there that the same people who are criticizing him are openly supporting, like Oda. Oda supports a Chomo. Shonen Jump is letting a Chomo continue to prosper. The author of Rurouni Kenshin and all that. So it's like, if people aren't going to abandon Shonen Jump, and even I, because I still read some stuff from Shonen Jump, it's like, if I'm not going to abandon that company, I'm dang sure not going to abandon a company headed by a brother who's making pretty cool stories and stuff like that. So it's like, I'm still on the fence about reading the Seven Kingdoms. I'm definitely going to go see the movie, because it's got Michael Jai White and stuff like that in there. Typhoon, what do you mean the Pantheon card 2 got axed? Netflix, it says that AMC canceled after one season, but there's 2 seasons released. Martin asks, how do I feel about the James Gunn Creature Commandos? It seems interesting-ish. It seems kind of interesting, but the main reason why I'm not really a fan of it is because I don't like how they did the Sons of Themyscira. Because, you see, for a lot of people don't know this, but there is actually, in fact, Sons of Themyscira. And they aren't some right-wing group, this, that, and the other. I don't like how they did that at all, because it's taken away from what could have actually been really, really good. Because see, the Sons of Themyscira are actually what's his name? Are actually son, like, male and boys birthed from what's his name? From the female Amazonians. Because the thing is, Amazonians in DC, they ain't crap. They're the epitome of when you point at someone, you got 3 fingers pointing back at you. They abandoned it's like, oh, men's world, the men will kill infant children, and this and the other. Y'all were gonna do that if Hephaestus didn't stop you. Oh, men's world, they do this and that to women. You did those same things to the fathers of these boys. What are you talking about? And even then, like, Diana was so wrapped up in thinking, she's like, oh shoot, well, he's enslaving them here. It's like, no, I call them slaves so that Themyscirans don't get any witty ideas. These are my sons. I raised them. I turned them into artists and all that. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Amazonian women are no better than the men. Right? You know what I mean? That was one of the first comic books I actually picked up and read through was the New 52 Wonder Woman. And I was like in late middle school or so. And I thought it was great. Yeah, yeah. Ultimately, what I was saying is like, with that point of like, that's one of the main reasons why like I couldn't see past it. I couldn't see past that change they made. And it's one of the reasons why I don't even want to see Creature Commandos. Because the thing is like because the thing is like he could have taken. Because the thing is, I like how because there was like this one piece in the show in the anime where it showed Doc Phosphorus and the Weasel just mutilating Cersei and all that. And as they're doing that, what's her name? Oh, girl was like, you wanted monsters, you got monsters. Like, can you imagine how deeper it would have felt if what's his name? How deeper the whole thing would have been if the Sons of Themyscira was led by Cersei, but these are traumatized boys manipulated by the trauma their mothers imparted once. Basically, the fact that their mothers traumatized them, abandoned them, and basically Cersei was manipulating them, but it was the task force job to go kill these hurt boys, right? And now it's like it would hit all the much harder if it says you wanted monsters, you got monsters. You know what I mean? I don't. David the Goliath. I'm going to be honest. I don't watch that much I haven't watched WWE ever since elementary school. I have not kept up with that in years. Like a very very long time. Yeah. Mm, I'm not sure. Typhoon. Well, I think I'm gonna end the stream here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream here. I don't know how long we've been going on for exactly, but I had fun chatting with you guys and stuff like that. And I want to try to do a bit more streaming here and there. Like maybe if I can, at least once a once a week. I'm not sure. I don't want to commit to anything too serious right now because I wouldn't be fair to you guys to keep your hopes up and stuff like that. But who knows? Maybe since I have both Knights of the Old Republic, I can stream that like for a couple of hours once every Monday night. I'm not sure. I'll let you guys know. Javier asks, "You got any female characters like comic book wise?" I had Aranya in my collection, but I gave that to my friend. She's Colombian, and I know she likes spider people and she likes Latina superheroes and stuff. I have Inferno Go Red. I gave that to a friend, but I'm gonna buy more of her comic books. I love Inferno Go Red. I love Radiant Red. I have her in my series. I want to get into Wonder Woman, but I heard that the quality of her books is all over. Like it's like hit or miss, up and down. Oh, I have Absolute Wonder Woman. I'm collecting Absolute Wonder Woman. I'm collecting the new Storm run, and I'm absolutely loving the Magic series. I need to do a review on the Magic series. That Magic has quickly become my favorite Marvel character. Not my favorite character in fiction. My favorite character in fiction is Shay Hart, but my favorite Marvel character is Magic. So, yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'll let you know my streaming schedule, like if I'm gonna try to regularly stream. I think with how small my stuff is, and especially with all the other stuff I'm trying to do, I don't think it'll be a regular thing. We could probably I'll try to do some small stuff here and there stream wise. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.